Thanks for checking out the podcast. That's all I have to say, really. Enjoy. Wednesday, November 20th, 2024. It has been a great hump day so far. This morning I was running a tad behind getting to the stations. I was all mad at myself for waking up late, taking forever to get ready. I'm usually the guy that shows up early for everything. Everyone knows that knows me. I even make sure to have my pill bag in the car so that way I don't have to worry about it and accidentally leaving it back at the apartment and have to swing back around, grab it, and be back on my way to the studio, causing me to be even more late. I skipped breakfast this morning. I'm not one of those people that intentionally does it either and calls it intermittent fasting or something like that. I usually like to have something small so I can feel slightly full till lunchtime. I was upset I didn't have time to stop anywhere to grab anything either. I'm like, you know what? I'll just drink water all morning and I'll try my best to be fine throughout the entire time. But then, who shows up at around 9 a.m. this morning? The superhero that is the loyal listener, the Redneck, showed up with a dozen donuts for us, and I was beyond thrilled. I immediately went for that maple donut. Shout out to the Redneck for giving us treats a bunch of times. He has showed up with donuts here a whole bunch. We both appreciate all listeners that decide to spend money on us and bring us something good. Really, we do. 208-535-1015 is the number to reach me. I also want to clarify that if you're not familiar with the Redneck, I'm not just simply calling him that. That's what he calls himself. That's his nickname. I didn't want somebody to think I'm just calling some random dude a redneck. No, he's called the Redneck, one of our loyal listeners. Anyway, we'll continue Peach's Pip Party here in just a few on K-Bear 101. Now, I've seen some weird candles be put out there for sale. There was one time my friend Bryson and I, back when he lived here, we went to Box Lunch, and they had this candle that smelled like Pizza Planet from Toy Story. That's what it smelled like. I forgot it for a second, and then it immediately came into my mind. Now, KFC has teamed up with Homesick. I've seen a lot of these different Homesick candles. I almost bought a Homesick candle because there was one for Seal Beach, California, and I was like, what does that smell like? And I wanted to buy it just to see what it did smell like. And I'm sure it smelled great. Those Homesick candles are legit, but KFC has teamed up with Homesick Candles to create a candle that smells just like a bucket of their fried chicken. It's called Bucket of Chicken. And if that's not your style, you want more of a sweeter smell, there's also a buttery biscuit candle that smells like honey, caramel, and buttermilk. Let me go to homesick.com and check this out here. I want to see the pricing on these. I'm sure they're not cheap. And I'm sure this is going to sell out fast, even though nobody's wanting to buy a bucket of chicken candle and actually use it, right? Oh, it's only $24. How many ounces is it? Well, there's a burn time of 60 to 80 hours. 13 ounces. That's not bad. I thought it would have been a whole lot worse. But also, yeah, who wants to have their home smell like a bucket of fried chicken? That would make it impossible to just sit in the living room if you have that lit, because then you would want a bucket of chicken, which is what I'm assuming KFC wants you to do. They want you to go to their locations and buy a bucket of fried chicken from there. I could not imagine, you have some, you're about to have some company over, and you're like, you know what? Let me set the mood. Let me light up the bucket of chicken KFC candle. I'm sure that will go over well. We already talked about a weird candle that smells like food. How about a weird wine, huh? Let's just make this the food hour here on Peach's Pit Party. Do you want your wine to taste like pizza? Well, your dream has come true. Pizza Hut teamed up with this place called Irvine Winery in Kansas for something called tomato wine. Pizza Hut says that it captures the essence of your favorite slice in every sip. It's made from ripe, juicy tomatoes infused with natural basil, offers an aromatic blend of fresh herbs and spices with rich, sun-ripened tomato notes and a subtle hint of toasted oak, reminiscent of a perfectly baked pizza crust. That doesn't sound good at all. But again, I'm sure it's probably going to sell out. They provided a link here within the article. Oh, yeah, look at that. I go to their website. Due to high demand, you may experience slight delays. Have no fear. We're working furiously to fulfill orders behind the scenes. Okay, so is it not going to load? Oh, it's already sold out. Look at that. There's a tomato wine gift box that you could get somebody for Christmas, where it looks like a pizza box. It has the bottle of wine with the two Pizza Hut fancy wine glasses. Again, could you imagine? You're going over to some guy's house, some girl's house. They're like, hey, you know what? Let me pull out the fancy wine. Let me pull out the fancy china. They pull out the Pizza Hut fancy wine glasses. They start serving you Pizza Hut wine. You spit it out. You go, what the heck is this? K-Bear 101. If you're not caught up with the world of streaming video games, Twitch streaming overall, you're probably not familiar with Kai Cenat. He's one of the biggest streamers out there, probably the biggest. I think he is the biggest. He's the most subscribed to Twitch streamer ever. And so he has hundreds of thousands of people watching him just stream live. I think he's live now. He's doing this whole like subathon that's lasting for 30 days where he just streams 24/7 for 30 days straight. He's going to be sleeping, doing all his normal everyday stuff on stream. Like, he's not going to just sit there at the computer for 30 days straight for 24/7. That would be awful. And people are just watching him relentlessly, commenting on his streams and all that. Like, there's a whole audience there. And what was really cool, what Kai did not that long ago, is that he had, I believe her name is Cheney from the band Entheos, a metal band, on the stream. And she talked, she did some of her songs. For a person like Kai to put that spotlight onto the metal scene is pretty great. And then I think I saw yesterday that Kai had Zakk Wylde playing the guitar on his stream. He's had a bunch of random people on this Mafia-thon, subathon, whatever he's calling it. He had Bill Nye the Science Guy on there. He's had John Cena on his streams in the past. I might have to check out one of his. I might open up Twitch here in just a few. I don't have Twitch open on the work computer because I feel like Jade will just walk by and see me watching somebody stream and go, man, he's not getting any work done. But no, it's a great thing to have the spotlight on the metal scene. Plus, I also did see that Jimmy Kimmel is going to have Knocked Loose on the show. I like how metal is getting more and more into the mainstream. It's pretty great. And this right here is your Shot Clock Sports Update. Just 6 weeks after firing head coach Robert Saleh, the New York Jets cleaned house again by firing the general manager Joe Douglas. Owner Woody Johnson thanked Douglas for his commitment but cited the need for a fresh start. In his 5 years with Douglas as GM, the team had 0 winning seasons. We'll see if the new general manager has better luck and can possibly maybe help the team end its 14-year playoff drought. In more pro football news, the Dallas Cowboys and Cincinnati Bengals are slated to play on Monday Night Football December 9th. And with both teams seemingly out of the playoffs, it seems like a no-brainer for the league to flex another game into the slot, but it can't because of The Simpsons. ESPN has an alternate broadcast on ESPN Plus and Disney Plus that will be using animation and the voices of the iconic characters, and all that material will be specific to the Cowboys and Bengals, so the NFL has no choice but to stick with its regular schedule. And also, Washington Capitals, their star, Alex Ovechkin's quest to break Wayne Gretzky's goal record is on hold after he suffered a leg injury during Monday night's game against the Utah Hockey Club. Ovechkin was on pace to maybe possibly break the all-time goal record this season. He needs 27 more to break Gretzky's record of 894 goals, a record that has stood since Gretzky retired in 1999. Fans, of course, are hopeful for a speedy recovery so Ovechkin can continue his chase of the record. But for now, he'll have to chill out, focus on healing, and let's hope he doesn't push it and, permanently hurt himself. It's pretty crazy that Wayne Gretzky's had a record that's almost been around the same time that I've been alive. Wayne Gretzky, the greatest hockey player to have ever lived. That does it for your Shot Clock Sports Update right here on K-Bear 101. K-Bear 101, Idaho's only rock station. For those who didn't know, I used to work at Knott's Berry Farm in Southern California. I was a ride operator there for, I think, a year and a half, maybe even longer than that. It's hard to keep track. But I was reading here in the news, it went onto the radio prep, this news story about how nearly 24 people were stuck for more than 2 hours on a broken down ride at Knott's Berry Farm. It's called the Soul Spin. I don't remember that ride at all. Let me see if I can pull up a picture of it. And it might be one of the newer rides that they put in. Oh, wait, no, it's that ride in the Fiesta portion of the theme park. I have never been on this ride. If you've ever seen this type of ride, it's one that rotates you while you're flying around. It's pretty wild. It would make me extremely dizzy, possibly throw up. I'm not really into that sort of thing. So I guess they were stuck for 2.5 hours. Some people had limped off. Others were taken away in a wheelchair. No one was seriously injured, but 2 female riders were taken to a hospital for examination. So I'm assuming this whole ride's going to be taken down in the near future. I used to work this roller coaster called Boomerang, and that coaster got taken out and replaced with a new one called Hang Time. And Hang Time has a height limit of 6'4", so I can't ride it. I used to also work this ride called Riptide. That also had a height limit of 6'4". They had those height limits for a good reason, because if you were to go on it at my height, it would just be painful and possibly lethal. They have this roller coaster called Accelerator, and it's one of those that goes from 0 to 60 within a couple seconds. And if I were to ride that, my head would be above the headrest, so my neck would snap back. Hence why I've never ridden that roller coaster either. But I do remember people complaining about Boomerang because it would oftentimes get stuck. It's one of those coasters that would go all the way back at an angle, and then it would launch you forward. I've been on it a few times. It does hurt your shins, or it hurts my shins at least, because the carts are so small, and I'm sitting there with my knees to almost my ears, getting ready for this roller coaster, and the thing gets stuck. I was on it when it got stuck once, and my shins were hurting big time. And then there was a guy smaller than me one time when I was working it. And I was working it on another shift. He was like, this roller coaster is way too small for people like me. He's complaining to me, out of all people, about how the roller coaster is too small. The dude was even looking up to me, like physically looking up to me, saying the roller coaster was too small for him. I just simply said, hey, man, I've ridden this a couple times, tested it, done everything with it. If I can fit in it, so can you. I got to be careful with this story. I saw this video pop up on my Instagram Reels about a week ago. Yeah. This triathlete named Taylor Knibb, she's doing the running portion of the triathlon. The camera's right on her, like right next to her. And she yells to the camera guy, well, I'll have to put it in nice radio-friendly terms here. I just used the restroom. Can you not get my backside? Yeah, she apparently went to the restroom while she was running. And that happens to a lot of marathon runners, triathletes, etc., where they can't stop during the events, so they just go right then and there. And there's some awful, gross pictures of that stuff online. Luckily, you couldn't see anything on her at all, hence the reason why she said, do not get my backside. Like, you couldn't see anything from what the camera was showing. But, I mean, that's pretty gross. They can't just call timeout or something like that. Like, they have to run with that in there like a full diaper. I knew this would happen. I knew it. If you watched the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight, or tried to watch at least, you know, there was a whole lot of issues with the streaming quality. It was buffering every couple of seconds for a lot of people. It was so bad that Netflix has actually just been hit with a class action lawsuit over it. TMZ Sports shared the news about that. Court documents were obtained that shows Ronald Blue Denton filed the suit in Florida on Monday, just 3 hours. 3 days after he says he and thousands of others struggled to watch Netflix's broadcast of El Gallo, the problem child, his big win over Iron Mike. Now, Denton claims that as soon as he and others tuned into the broadcast at around 8 p.m. Eastern time on Friday, they were faced with legendary problems, including no access, streaming glitches, buffering issues. The woes, of course, were all documented all over social media on the night of the fight, as many flocked to their Twitter pages to gripe about the quality of the product as boxers went in and out of the ring before the evening's main event. Yeah, Denton is suing Netflix for a breach of contract, among other things, and he's asking for unspecified damages. Is this one of those things where, like, the public can ask for a part in it as well? Or is he going to get all this money if he does win? Which I'm hoping he does win. I'm hoping Netflix amps up their service after this. It's pretty crazy. I mean, we talked about the fight on the air previously, about the buffering issues, and how during that fight they also said, hey, we're also going to be showing the Christmas Day NFL games, which is not going to be as popular as this event, but it's still going to attract a lot of people. The band Bilmuri, not the legendary actor Bill Murray. I know we have a few people in the audience that think every time I say Bill Murray, I'm talking about the old guy. No, there's a band starring Johnny Frank, formerly of Attack Attack, and a few other people in that band there. They have been played here on K-Bear for a little while now. But the band Bilmuri is opening up for Sleep Token over in Europe, and they just shared a photo of the entire band on stage in front of the audience. And that audience, they seem into it. They really, really seem into it. And I've talked about this on the air plenty of times, how these European tours, they're incredibly stacked when it comes to the band lineups. And people actually do show up for the openers. Compared to here, it feels like every concert, every festival, everything around here, there's tons of people complaining, whether it's like Linkin Park's headlining or some opener they don't want is opening up for them, and they feel the need to go to the comment section and say something like, oh, I'm only going just because of the headliner. I'll show up halfway through. You're really wanting to buy a ticket to the show, spending a few $100s at least for some of these bigger shows too, maybe even like close to $1,000 for some of these bigger shows. And you're telling me you're going to show up halfway through to watch half of a show? It just doesn't make any sense to me at all. I would love to see Sleep Token and Bilmuri. Imagine that lineup here, how badly that would be criticized. I see people all the time. I'm glad our audience is not like that at all when it comes to the Octane fan club. No matter what festival or concert gets posted in there, there's tons of people just bashing it, giving it the laugh react. One of the stupidest things you could do on Facebook is put a laugh react to a show that you just want to seem like you're cooler than. Like, oh, Fallen in Reverse is coming to town. Let me put the laugh react because I want every one of my friends to know I have a much better music taste. K-Barrett 101, I have a sincere question. I saw this lady who ordered an Uber in Phoenix, Arizona, and the Uber itself was just a car that was driving by itself. It was one of those robotic cars that could drive you anywhere. And I thought that was really cool, but could you imagine sitting in the back of that car? You're on your way to your destination. And what's really cool is that you can control the car from the back seat. Like you can like skip the song that it's currently playing. You can call for help if you really need so, like if you really need it to do so, which that would make sense if you get into like an accident, right? I would think, can you imagine this car just drives into another car head on and you're in the back seat just sitting there like, what on earth just happened? What are those cases going to be like? That could be a great question for Ben and the rest of the Advocates injury attorneys. I need to tell Victor about this right away. All right, I know this story is a little over a week old, but I've forgotten to talk about it till now. In Milton Keynes, England, a bright pink iPhone frozen under the ice skating rink has become an accidental tourist attraction, I should say. Workers accidentally left it there during the setup, and now it's the rink's most popular feature. If they were to tear up the ice to then get the phone out, it would cost a whole lot more money. So the person who owns that phone is without a phone for the time being until the ice rink is just done for the season. But it is for a great cause, an accidental tourist attraction. I feel like now more and more whoever runs these ice skating rinks are now going to put stuff below the ice intentionally just to follow what this person accidentally did. Those SoCal ice skating rinks are definitely about to have a whole bunch of weird. How about a fidget spinner below the ice? I could easily see that happening. Somebody's vape down there as well, for sure. Breaking Benjamin was awesome at the Mountain America Center earlier this year. It's hard to keep track of how many shows I went to this year. I wish when I first started going to concerts, I kept track of every single one of them. It's embarrassing, I know, but my very first concert was well, it was more so for my sister. I tagged along. It was Hannah Montana and the Jonas Brothers. I was in 5th or 6th grade at the time. And then a couple months later, my dad and I went to go see AC/DC at the Forum in LA. And that was a great, great show. Hence why I'm hoping that AC/DC is going to announce a North American tour here in the near future. And I'm really hoping it's not with Axl Rose. I did see that news story pop up, and that would be extremely weird as to why Brian Johnson could only tour over in Europe and do the Power Trip Festival and all that, but not do a tour here in North America, a tour here across the country. It'd make no sense. I would love to see AC/DC live again, maybe for the final time, because let's face it, they're going to be retiring soon. I think that tour was supposed to be announced 2 weeks ago. Didn't see anything about that after the speculation or anything get teased on their social media pages. They rarely post anything. The last post they made was a tribute to Malcolm, who passed away on November 18th, 2017. Can't believe it's already 7 years ago. That's insane. But anyway, like I've said before, and I'll say it again, and I'll say it many more times, if you want to go to any concert, check out that concert calendar at riverbendmediagroup.com. K-Barrett 101, Idaho's only rock station. I'm trying to use ChatGPT to come up with this sort of game that we could incorporate for giveaways and whatnot to give me 3 different local stories, but only one of them is actually real. But ChatGPT is having a tough time coming up with the real story or putting the real story. They said this one was real about an Idaho Falls man who broke into a business and accidentally left behind some evidence that a selfie he took on his phone that it doesn't make any sense. A selfie taken on a phone he picked up during the crime. Okay, there we go. So he picked up the phone, took a selfie with it, and then left it at the crime scene. Is that believable? No. When investigators checked the device, they discovered a clear shot of the suspect posing mid-heist. It's clearly a fake story, but then they link me to the East Idaho News website to this specific article about the UPS employees that were accused of stealing thousands of dollars of Magic the Gathering cards, food subscription boxes, and more. And that was up near Sugar City. That wasn't here in Idaho Falls. So for those of you that are, scared of AI taking over, there's still a lot wrong with it. Yesterday was so successful with that ChatGPT generated question about, what was it again? It was, what skill would you master that you would just use to show off? Something like that. Had a lot of great answers with that one. Well, today came from ChatGPT as well. What's your favorite food combination that everyone else just thinks is disgusting? I've asked this question, I think, in the past, and I always share that story about how I used to be that guy that would have mac and cheese with ketchup on top, and there was this dramatic classmate of mine. So we had this thing called Time with Teacher, and if for some reason, I think it was like an auction type thing, or if we sold enough magazines, one of those things when you were in elementary school, where it's like, hey, if you sold enough magazines, you could go eat lunch with your teacher. Like that was a thing you wanted to do. And so I somehow got that with another classmate. This classmate was named Rebecca. I haven't seen or heard from her in years. And it was her and my teacher. Both of them like screamed, and Rebecca almost started crying. It was back when we were like in first grade. I put ketchup on my mac and cheese, and she went, "Oh my God," and freaked out. And yeah, and I didn't realize that was a weird food combination that other people found disgusting till later on. So what's your favorite food combination that everyone else thinks is disgusting? Let me know. 208-535-1015. Hey, K-Bear, what's a weird food combination that you love but everyone else finds disgusting?
Hey, yeah, so my weird food combination is honey with a tuna fish sandwich, like in the tuna fish sandwich.
That doesn't sound all that bad. How did you find that out? Did you just put it on there one day by accident or what?
Well, my dad had done it, and I tried it, and now I put honey with literally everything, like chili. It goes good with pizza, like any food that you can think of. Honey goes good with it because it's just basically a natural sweetener.
Yeah, the one thing I've had recently is fried chicken with that spicy honey sauce from Trader Joe's. It is really, really good.
Oh, I bet you that would be delicious. I'm salivating from the thought of that.
Yeah, man, you got to make your way to Trader Joe's at some point.
I absolutely do.
Yeah, well, awesome, man. Well, thank you for that answer. I appreciate it.
Of course, thank you.
You have a good one. K-Bear, how's it going?
It's going, my friend.
What weird food combination do you like that everyone else finds disgusting?
There's only one person that doesn't besides me, and that's my youngest son. But I will take pork loin, dice it up, cook white rice, mix the two together, and pour pork gravy over the top of it, and I call it a pork bowl.
That sounds honestly really good. I was expecting way worse answers. These two have not been all that bad. 208-535-1015. I want to hear what weird food combination you love, but everyone else finds disgusting. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Facebook group chat. I did see some weird ones in there. Somebody wrote popcorn and barbecue sauce. I don't know how you find that out or how you initially found out you liked that. Here's an answer from Harold. Canned sardines on crackers with a bacon cheddar cheese whiz. I also do the same thing with Vienna sausages. Worst case scenario, I'll use canned tuna fish, but that also requires mayo, and that can be a little bit messy. That just sounds like a horrible, like your breath would be absolutely awful. Awful. K-Bear, what weird food combination do you love but other people find disgusting?
I used to be that kid also that would put ketchup on my mac and cheese, but then I graduated.
Right, yeah.
So now I put mixed corn in with my mac and cheese and then a couple big tablespoons of mayo.
I went to a place when I was in high school called Lemonade. It's in Huntington Beach, and it's a macaroni and cheese place. I don't know why they're called Lemonade out of all things, but they put a brisket on top of their mac and cheese, and that right there is killer. Man.
I bet that was good.
Yeah, I've seen some hot chicken places even put mac and cheese on the hot chicken sandwiches, and oh man, that's some good stuff there.
Oh man, that sounds delicious. It must be dinner time.
Exactly, yeah. I'm always hungry for that type of stuff.
Right on.
Well, I appreciate you, Sean. Thank you.
No worries, brother.
You have a good one. K-Bear, what weird food combination do you love but other people find disgusting?
Well, they don't really find it disgusting. They find it odd, but I put MSG on bacon and popcorn.
Oh, wow.
It makes it taste even more like bacon or popcorn. It's the craziest thing.
I just watched a video of this guy trying to figure out why movie theater popcorn is so much better compared to regular popcorn that you would microwave or something like that. But
right.
Apparently this guy, you would add like some seasoning salt and something else that I'm completely drawing a blank on right now that would make it taste just that much better.
It's just like two simple ingredients that they keep under wraps.
Yeah, they put in the popcorn while it's popping, or they put it on the... I forgot. They put it in the pan or the little pot there that hangs on top. Yeah, there we go. And it just, goes onto the popcorn as it's popping. Tastes better that way.
Interesting.
Yeah. The more you find out about stuff. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right.
Right. Well, awesome, man. Well, thank you for that answer. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. For sure.
K-Bear, they hung up on me. Oh, the other person hung up too. All right. Well, that was fun. Thanks for listening to Peach's Pit Party, the podcast. If you enjoy the show, please share, subscribe, and rate the podcast. Peach's Pit Party is hosted by me, Peaches, and is a production of Riverbend Media Group. For more information or to contact the show, visit riverbendmediagroup.com. Until next time, Peach out.